Listen slowly and carefully as I read this. Know this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lust, saying, where is the promise of his coming? Scoffers are making fun and mocking. And then finally in chapter number 3 and verses 10 through 13, the Apostle Peter says, but the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you to be in all holiness, in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Lord, earnestly desiring it, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth. Colossians 1:16. For by him were all things created that are in heaven, that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created by him.
Hey everybody,
and for him.
Welcome back to Repent Hearts Ministry. I'm your host, John Zangaro. I just want to go ahead and make sure that the people who are in our district are paying attention to what the Republican Party is running on to set them apart from the Democrat Party. So understand that not all Democrats may run on turning your children into Lego people with interchangeable parts or murdering your babies in the womb, although the vast majority, well, let's be honest, 99.9% of them all want to do those things. But their main aspect is the control of government powers and seizing power and authority wherever they can, to include but not limited to also the seizing of power over private business, private land, private ownership of whatever it may be. But they do this all, they make these things look like they work through the redistribution of wealth. Now, if you watch New York, Mondami, what he's doing, that would not work in a fully socialistic country. They wouldn't have the funds for that. He would have already seized control over all the businesses and what have you. He's developing, if you're not aware, a government grocery store. It's going to end up pushing out some of your smaller competition there, and it's actually going to hurt the community in the long run. Anyways, here in southern Indiana, we have right here State Representative Stephen Bartles cutting taxes for hardworking Hoosiers. Who wouldn't like that headline? But then we look down here and it says continuing to reduce Indiana's income tax this year. That's wonderful. Good job. Carrot, stick. Carrot, stick. Good job. Providing $46 million in property tax relief to disabled and wartime veterans. Now, this sounds wonderful, but my question is, why is this even a thing? Why is there a tax that can make somebody homeless? Why is there a tax that can end up taking, your house could be fully paid for. You could have paid cash and been 28 years old like my best friend was, and lose your house because of taxation. That is a continual thing. So essentially there's no incentive to own your house because your property, your house, what is yours? You're leasing from a government entity. That is not liberty. That is not freedom. They do that for the process that is a Marxist process of redistribution of wealth. They take those taxes and they use them to help out other people, but it's not helping out the people that are now becoming homeless. I apologize, I did not put on the microphone, so if it sounds echoey or anything, that's why. Aligning with recent federal tax cuts to eliminate both state taxes on tips and overtime for 2026, saving workers an estimated amount. Doesn't matter because the estimated amounts are never what it actually turns out to be. Economists never get it right. You want proof on that, just watch Nick Freitas and Christian Hines discuss it. They go thoroughly into that. And you can find a link for Nick Freitas below. Nick Freitas is fantastic. If you're wondering how you can make a difference in your political field, if you have politicians that are absolutely worthless, kind of like an old shirt with a bunch of holes you're wearing out into the rain, does nothing for you other than just leave you soaking wet and smelling like dog when you come back in, you want to go ahead and take some time and watch Nick Freitas. He walks you through how to properly engage this. So moving to the lower half, we have reducing childcare costs. Hey, it sounds wonderful. Sounds great. Reducing childcare costs. Now, costs are what they are because it is essentially an economic thing where it is, let's say you have 10 apples and 30 people want the apples. Well, you're not going to be able to feed 30 people an apple. So essentially you're going to have a cost value system that allows people who want those apples the most to come and get them. You can say that's greedy all day, but essentially people have to understand that there is a value in these things. If you're reducing childcare costs, you are telling people that their time, their money, their effort is only worth this amount. You're capping it off. Or you're incentivizing certain things like in Minnesota where we have a bunch of child care programs that are abusing the system. And essentially, we've proven that long term through our educational system, through the universities. Universities are subsidized, and we now see, well, many decades into it, that they are corrupt as all day, or all get out. So, it says here, expanding the state employer child care tax credit to encourage more companies to offer affordable child care options to employees. So why are we redistributing our tax money to that? That's not a small government idea. If companies see the value in providing this, they will provide it at a cost-efficient benefit. Streamlining regulatory burdens on child care providers to increase supply and drive down costs. Okay, that's wonderful. Why do you have to do that? You're essentially admitting that regulatory processes or regulations are a burden. So why don't we just get rid of regulations across the board? The vast majority of them end up costing people quite a lot. We should have a bare minimum regulatory system for whatever it is. I mean, if it's not common sense and if you can't pick up a manual and just read through it in less than 30 minutes, you probably have too many regulations. You know who loves regulations? Socialists, Marxists. Authorizing an additional $200 million from the taxpayer, that's you and I, to support child care and development funds. Voucher program, which is expected to reach up to, and again, numbers don't matter because economists never get it right. When it comes down to it, did our state reps ask us, hey, let's go ahead and utilize tax funds that essentially should go to assets here or programs here, but we're going to shift them over now? No, they didn't. I didn't get a letter in the mail where Representative Bartles asked me. Openly, yes, I do go to the GOP meetings fairly regularly. I've been backing off more and more because essentially I'm watching the Democrat lights with the R in front of them leading the efforts. when you bring up these things at your GOP meetings, you find that the vast majority of placeholders or elected officials like to use your money and redistribute it so that they can buy votes for themselves. That's what he's doing here. Nice guy, real nice guy. I don't know if he's married, but I would suggest that he focuses more on his home life and less on the redistribution of wealth. We need to shrink government. We need to cut regulations. We need to cut and or eliminate taxes. If it's a tax on something that you're supposed to own, you should only be taxed on anything you purchase one time. That's it. How many times are you taxed on your shirt? You're taxed on it one time when you go through the register. Now we can get into all the nuances, but essentially that's what it is. Your home and your car, you should not have an annual tax on those. They need to look into that and figure out how to eliminate those excessive burdens of taxation that are essentially redistribution of wealth. Well, this was a nice, boring political discussion today with us, but I appreciate it. Again, if you live in Southern Indiana, make sure that your representatives are representing you well. Hold them accountable. And if they're not going to be held accountable, if they're not going to do the right thing, find a good primary candidate and usher them into the field and help the current candidates with early retirement. Well, in order to make sure that you are aligning with the right thing at the right times, you need to make sure that you stay in the Word and in prayer. And until next time, God bless.